told him that though?
Because his statement is Wack.
Bro, what you mean?
Damn, Triple
Because
OG.
been 3
obviously
years.
you ain't going to court because you was going to court.
Triple
Every
OG.
time you go to court, they gonna let us know you going to court. So
I can't go to court for immigration if I got an open
nah,
gun
what
case,
about
fool.
the gun case, bull?
I can't go to court for immigration if I got
They
an
will
open
give
gun
you
case,
your
man.
time.
And I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about Wack. Wack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff.
Wack 100 been screaming snitch for years, but guess what just dropped? A leaked wiretap from 21 Savage got everybody digging up that 2005 Fed gun case like, hold up, what's really going on here? Imagine this, a dude running his mouth 24/7 calling everybody a rat.
That told him that though?
Because his statement is Wack.
Then suddenly his wallet slips open and a cop badge peeks out for a split second. That second might have ruined his whole legacy, but that ain't even the craziest part. Word on the street is that video came straight from 21 Savage himself. Yup, not just shared in passing. People saying 21 leaked it. And honestly, can you blame him? Wack been calling him a snitch for years, saying he cooperated with ICE just to keep his papers clean, even dragging him into that YSL mess. 21 mostly brushed it off, said a little something here and there, but kept it moving. Until now. If he really dropped that tape, that ain't petty, that's straight chess moves. Years of Wack sneak dissing him on Clubhouse, and he finally clapped back without saying a word. And if you connect the dots, Wack been pointing fingers at everybody just to keep folks from looking at him.
And I just want to say this to y'all. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about Wack. Wack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff.
Now, this ain't even the first time someone called Wack out for ties to the feds. A few months back, Big U got indicted on RICO charges, but before he even turned himself in, he called out Wack in a video saying he was working with the FBI. Here's where it gets wild. Before the RICO case even hit headlines, before any arrests, Wack was already calling Big U's wife like 911. He needs to leave. That don't sound like a warning. That sounds like a setup in disguise. It's crazy because after Big U got booked, Wack hit the internet talking reckless, trying to flip it on Big U, saying he was the one moving dirty, using a BlackBerry to talk to the feds. But all that did was raise eyebrows like, how you always know first? How you always in the middle but never getting burned?
All right, so yeah, after you got that message, after you got the message, you hit up Big U's wife. You said, sis, 911. One sec, let me get solo. And you gave him a heads up.
What I tell him?
You said, one sec, let me get solo. He needs to leave. Bad. In caps, all caps. He needs to leave.
I said so bad, right?
Yeah, full bad.
That call to Big U's wife ain't feel like no favor. It felt like he warned the same man he helped line up, staying close to the fire but never getting burned himself. And this goes way back to 2005. Word is, Wack 100 and his brother got pulled over in Texas just speeding. Nothing wild at first. Cops asked to search the car. Wack said no. They brought a K9 and boom, shotgun, rifle, pistol, all loaded. Here's the kicker. Wack and his brother were already convicted felons. That's federal time off rip. You don't walk away from that. But somehow, he posted bail and went back to LA like nothing happened. 2 years passed with silence. Then out of nowhere, the whole case gets dismissed. And not for lack of evidence or a technicality. The court wrote it was dropped in the interest of justice.
And I'm going through it. I said, yeah, I don't know nothing about this. He said, man, y'all too tight. I see Big U signature. I see other signatures. I'm reading it. And what shook me was the police issued device to communicate with law enforcement in form of a BlackBerry.
If you know how the system moves, especially with felons and guns, you know that phrase don't just pop up. It usually means somebody gave something up. Wack tried to spin it, saying the search was illegal, but that was cap. Court records were public. No mention of improper procedure, just dismissed clean and quiet. And the timing? That's what makes it shady as hell, because not long after, Suge Knight, Wack's old boss at death row, started getting pressed by the feds. Wiretaps, raids, paperwork everywhere, but Wack's name? Not even mentioned. Then the Main Street Crips got tied up in that crazy kidnapping case linked to Shaq. Transcripts showed someone named Back calling around, leaving messages.
Yes. I'm gonna give you some time. I don't know, 24 hours, 12 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 1 hour. I don't know. I'm gonna give you some time though, Gunner, for you to go ahead on and confess.
Never. Folks been saying Back was really Wack 100. Now today, he's all over the net pointing fingers at Gunna, BG, Brick Baby, 21, even Jay Diggs, acting like he's the moral compass of the streets. But be real, that 2005 case ain't adding up to his image. You don't beat a federal gun charge as a felon with 3 illegal weapons in your trunk unless you're either the luckiest man alive or you gave something up. When folks saw that police ID flash in the new video nearly 20 years later, it brought everything back. Not just the badge, not just the beef, but that question haunting the streets ever since his case disappeared. What did he trade to walk away squeaky clean? See, Wack built his whole brand off one word: snitch. That's his favorite insult. Anytime a rapper gets locked up or takes a plea, Wack's the first one on Clubhouse screaming they told. He did it with Gunna, claiming he had a 2-hour interrogation tape and threatening to leak it if Gunna didn't confess. But guess what? He never dropped it, just ran his mouth like usual. He came for BG too, a dude who did over a decade inside, calling him a snitch with 0 paperwork to back it up. Even BG's old cellmate said he never folded once. But Wack didn't care. He kept talking with no receipts. And yeah, it works for the clueless ones who don't dig deeper, thinking he's got some moral code. But people paying attention started noticing the pattern. Wack gets the loudest when he's deflecting. Every time there's heat on him, he pivots fast. And man, Wack records everybody. That ain't how real ones move. Why record every convo unless you plan to use it or hand it over? Folks starting to realize some rappers Wack brought on Clubhouse ended up catching cases, like Loose Cannon. Went on there, talked too much, and got jammed up later. Now people wondering, was Wack setting them up to talk reckless? Was he making these clips go viral so prosecutors could swoop in? It's all starting to feel coordinated. From how he baits people into arguments to how leaks magically appear when it benefits him. Not everything's proof, but this pattern, it's too loud to ignore. At some point, you gotta stop and look at the whole timeline. That leaked video didn't just come out of nowhere. It's been building since that 2005 case vanished without a scratch. From him knowing about Big U's Rico before the feds even moved, to Wiretap mentions, to the badge, to how he records people. It's not just messy, it's calculated. The more folks revisit the timeline, the more it feels like he's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. Because if all these rappers he's called snitches were really doing what he says, there'd be paper trails. But the only one who keeps popping up in cases that get dropped, people getting exposed, or feds knowing too much, is him. And that's what makes this different. It ain't just about proving he's tied to the feds. It's about asking what it really means if he is. What does that say about the stories we believe? Who we give platforms to? People joke about it online, but this ain't funny no more. Not when real lives getting twisted up by his manipulation. Wack been calling everybody else a snitch. But now folks looking sideways asking if the loudest voice in the room been wired up from the start. Because if he was, this whole game been compromised for years. And the scariest part, he ain't laying low. He's still out here talking, and whatever he says next might just be the final piece that blows everything wide open. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more crazy exposés like this, and I'll see you on the next one.